Hey guys, this is Briggs. How are you? This is the second interview that I'm doing with one of our beautiful starseeds, Altea, a beautiful, beautiful and dear friend of mine. So welcome. How is everybody doing out there? So I'm just going to move into an introduction of Altea at the moment. I'm really just playing around with my creativity, giving us, and by us, I mean the Lightworker and Starseed community, an opportunity to just share and spread their knowledge. So it's not only coming from me, and also just touching base and connecting and really gridding us together so that you guys can begin to understand what's all happening in the galactic universe outside of our microcosmic scale, and just to introduce you to other things that are happening out there outside of the things that I can do. So just to quickly introduce myself, if you don't know who I am, my name is Brigitte. I currently reside in Cape Town in South Africa, and I have been working as a medicine woman and shamanic practitioner for the last 6 years, or moving up to 6 years now. I'm a starseed as well, way shower, indigo warrior. Got a lot of that warrior energy in me, and a truth bringer. What I really, really enjoy doing is teaching. Teaching is my passion. So again, as I mentioned, we've got Altea here today, and I'm just going to give a little introduction. So she is a Pleiadian starseed and rainbow warrior. Among other things, she's also a Reiki practitioner, psychic healer, divination, and tarot astrologer, and a light language channel. She was born in Milano, Italy, and has traveled and worked between Italy, France, and New York, eventually also settling in Cape Town. She's had psychic and intuitive insight and prophetic dreaming from a very young age, and decided eventually to take this up as a career and offer her services to help as many people as possible. She's been doing tarot readings and divination for the past 15 years, and in 2018, after receiving her Reiki attunement, her light language channel really started opening and anchoring into this reality. She is here to help the conscious collective ascend and to help as many individuals raise their frequencies and really step into their power as an infinite being of love and light. Welcome, Altea. How are you doing, my beautiful?
Hi guys, thank you so much for having me here, Brigitte. I really, really appreciate, and I think it's so beautiful that all of us, light workers and starseeds, are coming together and just really connecting and feeling that oneness between all of us. So I really thank you for having me here and allowing me to express my gift and communicate with everyone out there as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think as a beginning point, just also to let you guys know how I met Altea was really, it's always when you meet starseeds, please understand, guys, it is not for nothing. It is a very purposeful integration and link that is done in many mysterious ways. So I'm very grateful for her. And as I said, I do medicine work, so Altea has helped me within that space of holding space, bringing in light codes. And at that time, it was also a very, we all start moving and growing together, and understanding our skill sets or our six senses, together. So I'm really, really grateful for Altea because at the time her channel was sort of her voice channel was opening. Was a time she was entering into my ceremony space. But let's jump back to 2018, when your attunement embodied.
Yeah, so basically what happened is I had been the dreaming and the intuition and everything else except for my channel being that open had already been there for a while, like actually all my life technically. It was very prominent to me as a child. I would have prophetic dreaming and I would actually see entities. The veil was very lifted from me. But obviously, you're a child, people tell you, oh, it's not true, whatever, then you start doubting. And then eventually in 2018, in the period where I had my Reiki treatment, I had been going to Reiki healing for 5 to 6 years, once a month. So I had really been working on myself, on my consciousness, on, just like releasing and allowing that energy to flow. I had my Reiki attunement and I had a few different actual light language channelers work on me in a space, and that also helped me activate. So what happened is my channel didn't just blow open completely. It opened quite slowly in the beginning. First, the art started coming through more and more. I've always been drawing and painting, and I always did have a sort of intuition connection with my art, and I knew it was coming from, something else, something beyond. And eventually, when my channel started opening more, the art started coming through first. So that was
Yes,
the
I
first thing.
remember. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah.
Yeah, the art was the thing that started coming through first. I actually, it was, I think, the first time that I went in ceremony with you. The night before, I started writing coding down, and I was aware of what coding was. I knew, but I didn't know like too much about it.
Yeah.
And then the medicine really helped me a lot to open, and being in that beautiful ceremonial space. The space was held beautifully by you, Brigitte. It was just wonderful, and it really allowed me to open up more and be myself and let that energy flow through. And then actually the next day was the first time that my throat chakra cracked open with the light language. But in the beginning, it was just it something was trying to break through, but it wasn't the actual language as it is now and as I channel it now, obviously. That it actually took me a few months of practicing and of just trusting my channel, trusting my intuition, trusting myself before the actual language itself came through. It was more like sounds before, and it was actually quite funny because I would like have jerks out of control. There wasn't much control in how I directed my channel. Now it's been like 2 years more or less, and it's beautiful because I'm constantly learning, constantly growing. It's a never ending path of learning and growing and understanding
and expanding.
Yes, exactly. But about after like maybe 6 months that my channel was open, I started actually understanding whether I was channeling different beings, where the beings were from, whether it was my higher self, which is what I channel most of the time, or whether it was actually direct messages for my clients. So that was also a beautiful development, and I'm still learning, and I still get surprised every time I do my work.
And I think that's important because I know that a lot of light workers and starseeds are opening up their channels and putting in a lot of effort to open up their channels at this point in time. Like you say, these sort of garbled sounds come through, and then it's really a matter of trust as our first sort of ascension lesson. As always, it's trusting in that channel, really opening up and sitting in the heart. Opening up and sitting in the heart, and what we want to know, and what most starseeds want to know, is like, what is this? Is it me? Is it something else? And I think what we're aligning with here is initially it's usually your higher self. You're channeling through your higher self. Am I correct?
Yes. There's also a big component of which I also, I'm still learning, of actually really letting go of the ego and really, really surrendering to a higher power, to something that in fact is actually out of your control. I'm not controlling anything. I'm literally just a channel. And it's that acceptance to really surrender the ego and let go and allow, and allow that energy to flow and to come through, to trust it really. Yes, it really goes back to trusting again.
And I want to get to protection just now, but it's like, I feel like just jumping to your artwork as a channel, because, channeling, I think it's also important for light workers to discern what that is. So we have the language channel, a coding channel, a light language channel. You can also be dancing and doing ballet for something that you've trained for 15 years. And when you are on stage, you are channeling, something. So let's move back to your artwork, and maybe you want to show one of your codings.
I can show. So it comes through differently and in many different ways. So this is one of the most recent ones that came through. This is all code. This is all code, literally. It's only code. There's a few little like symbols and spaceships there. What comes through a lot for me is when I do my written art, yes, the code, but I do a lot of grid work. So a lot of grid work is actually what comes through. The grid work looks a bit more like this. So you can see also here, these are all energy waves. These are spaceships. And then sometimes it comes through with color as well. This one, for example, came through when we were in Aries. Yeah, so you can see fire. And I myself am an Aries sign, so I do channel a lot of Aries energy. This one came through also recently. This one also has color in it, as you can see. But generally, yeah, the ones that come through most for me is, well, that I actually feel I enjoy doing the most is the grid work. So it's the ones more like this, and a lot of them involved time travel, space travel. I do get short words and messages that go with them. So either they're stargates or they're wormholes, space traveling. Some of them I've channeled up to 12D codes actually, which is quite interesting.
Yeah.
But generally I do between 7, 8 and 9. That's generally the ones that come through in writing. And the light language obviously is a little bit different when it comes to spoken. It happens to me at times that I'm writing the light language and the throat chakra just activates.
Yeah.
In that way, I actually encode the throat chakra, the activation from the light language into the actual art
and the grid
as
work.
well.
And when you say this is grid work, basically what we're saying is we're anchoring in this frequency. And again, this anchoring is coming in the form of recording on your, through your being actually. And one of the ways, again, is either through language, the light language, and through the written pieces. And what about our hands? I mean, I know that I go quite, it's quite common to see light language channelers moving their hands. I know that mine move at the speed of light. Like I can actually hear how fast it's going, and it's crazy. So, just speak to that a little bit.
Yeah, so the way I interpret it and I feel it, the way how my hands work, yes. And also what I understood is, what I feel is the faster the codes come through the hands, the higher the frequency. That's how I pick it up. When it first started opening as well, it's almost uncontrollable. The way it's also grid work in a sense. The way I interpret it is I pull the codes through and I anchor and integrate them into our 3D construct, into our matrix, into our reality.
And
so I'll pull them through from whatever dimension they come through, and then I anchor them in here, and that can be done through vocals, through hand gestures, through written, and all these different ways.
And of course, one of the most important things to bear in mind here is that without the purity of intention and a connection through the heart and the release of that ego, none of this is really possible, right?
Yeah, it's literally, it really goes down to trusting your heart, your higher self. And I mean, I'm not going to be like, oh, it's all airy fairy. It does involve a lot of self-work, a lot of healing, and a lot of discipline. Like, it's not just like, oh, let me open up, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we need to also be realistic. It does, and it is constant work. I do believe that once your channel is open, it will stay open. But there may be times where emotionally you're drained, where you feel like you don't really feel like opening your channel or doing the work. And something that I've also noticed is the higher you channel and the more you raise your frequency, it actually, when you bring the codes in, often they actually do give you energy, so they are healing you as a channeler as well.
Yes I know that I feel like it's important to realize that all of us are moving through different ascension stages along with our karmic contracts, which are mostly cleared at this point in time. And we've got this collective intention to grid, anchor, and bring in the light. But it's like we go through these stages. So your channel is open, but it's really, really important, guys, to tune into the body and know when you need to rest. So coming back to the physical body, and this is the teaching part that I enjoy, coming back to the physical body, your 3D material vessel, we need to be really, really careful of what happens to our nervous systems, all right? So just to tune into that and know that, you will feel that you are feeling a bit like, I like to call it this like bubblehead feeling. And then you need to be working on grounding, and there's many ways to do that. We can bring in a grounding code as well. Do you feel that all light workers, so when they open their channel, so for example, say if my channel is open or opening, I know that I am channeling in my higher self. What I have noticed lately is that the language that I've brought in is completely changed. It's like a completely different language. So again, I guess it's just trusting and knowing what I'm gridding to. So I know that I've been putting a lot of conscious intention and forethought out there to connect with the Sirian star system as an example, and then just kind of linking the dots in trust.
Yes. Well, I mean, it can be very strange because sometimes I just channel playing technology, and generally it's played in technology, and what it comes through, it's like clicking and tongue twisting and like weird sound, and that, it is a language in itself, but to us it just sounds just like sounds, Meanwhile, there's other times where it's mainly when I channel my higher self that I'm talking this other language. Sometimes I will know what I'm saying more or less generally. I won't ever really know the exact words, if it makes sense, but it's happened to me with quite a few clients actually, that I'll channel light language, they will receive in English, which is quite beautiful, but I won't know what I'm saying because the message was for them.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yes. And just chat to us a little bit about your connection with the Pleiades.
Yeah, so I can't remember from when I've known, but I've known, I think, most of my life, that most of my day is Pleiades. I think, in the beginning you doubt, you say, oh, but what is this? I don't know, blah, blah, blah. No, like for me, it's always been a knowing that has gone beyond. I've always looked at the stars and then I just knew that my soul was from there. I actually believe this is something I came to the realization recently. I have been accessing more and more of the Akashic records of my galactic past, and I've actually recently come to the knowing that I was sent here very long ago during Lemurian times. I was actually one of the first. There were lots of beings, but sent from the East to Earth to colonize during Lemurian times, and then there was, the big Holocaust, and a lot of beings died, and I actually chose to stay and reincarnate on planet Earth. So I've actually been here for very, 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 very long.
Yeah.
And I have been in past life regression, and I have seen, because when it first all started coming through to me, I was a little bit confused because I was seeing these past lives of me on planet Earth 2,000-3,000 years ago, living in like the Amazonian river and stuff like that. And I didn't understand. And I recently got a download that explained to me that I actually have, I'm here to fulfill this mission, and I have had maybe even thousands of lives here on planet Earth.
Yeah.
And this has prepared me to actually be the way I am right now, to be able to communicate to the people, to be able to express, because I have been playing this human game, as we can call it, for very, very long.
Yeah.
So yeah, that explains a little bit more.
Yeah. And just, I mean, I haven't known you for long in linear time. But just as far as I remember us having a chat about, there was a lot of addiction issues with you prior to your full activation. And I'm sure that speaks to many light workers out there who have, you know what I mean? Like it's.
Yes, I feel like for me, for example, because I have always been intuitive, because I've always been receiving messages, I would try to block them. So I would go out, I would drink, I would party. I wouldn't really sit with myself, sit with my body, and really acknowledge these messages because of me being such an empath, me being so open already to receiving, because I've generally always tried to live as much as I can from my heart. And it's so, I would always help, but it would get too much. It would get overwhelming. I would pick up, literally, I still am, but now I know how to direct, but literally you're like an antenna. So you're picking up all these emotions from all these people around you, and you don't know how to handle it. And I'm sure me, as a lot of people, then turn to things that are not the best for you. Yes, exactly. Or not as healthy, or distractions, or like, it's like someone spending the whole day just cleaning because they don't want to stop and think. And, so I believe that a lot of these addictions that people have to different things, it's to suppress something else and to not actually acknowledge what they're really feeling.
Yeah. I wanted to mention so you spoke into your Akashic. Is that so? Does each star system have its own Akashic, or is it the full Akashic?
No, it's the way I understand it, it's basically it's outside of space time. So it's actually a big, huge library, not in any dimension. It's literally outside of space time or any dimension, where the whole history of everyone in the whole galaxy and is stored there. So if someone actually wants, they can access someone else's. For me, I've never accessed, well, I'll access someone else's if they're in session, or if it will come through to me, but I don't yet have the ability to just go there and be like, I want to know this, I want to know that. What is coming through to me is what I'm meant to know now, and it's about me, and what is coming through is actually helping me heal my galactic past.
Yes, and I feel like it's also important to know, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but it's like each person that comes into session with you, if you are the channel of that healing, that message, that whatever it is, the information, clearing a blockage, etc., is that there's a cording between you, the person, and the Akashic, or the information. And there's a cording, so it's a signature that involves your soul and all beings partaking in that particular healing. And this is, I think, where it's important for everyone to understand that trust, or first of all, so if you're new in this game of seeking to clear the blockages from an energetic perspective, feel into your intuition of who you would like to work with, first of all. Second of all, when you are a little bit further into a process of trust with yourself in regards to the process, then know that who you have aligned with in terms of your healing is probably exactly on par. And the other thing is that if it has caused destruction within your energetic field, know that that was also part of the contract, so that you could heal that. And I think a lot of energy workers have been through that of going, oh shit, I need to now go and rectify something that I've done with another healer. And this is not a roasting session for healers. It's just everyone understanding that we all play a beautiful role of learning from one another, and that's it. And then we soon start to make our tribe, it becomes quite unique, because we now know what to get from who and who activates what. And this is the beautiful thing about all of us, is we all have our different roles.
Yeah.
It
was beautiful to see when we worked together in session, all of us, and how we came together all in our different roles. And all learning from each other, because we all are fulfilling our different karmic paths, our different roles, are different, and it's very beautiful that so many of us are like literally popping up now, and just really, we all have the same mission, but we all have different roles and different ways to, get there.
To explore it, and I was thinking of, the simplest metaphor to use here is that each of us as light workers or light beings are a puzzle piece, in this galactic puzzle. And so for example's sake, if I want coding done, I'm going to go to Altea. If I want you know, and again, they're all interlinked. So if I want high frequency DNA coding on medicine, I'm going to go to this person. If I am non-activated, and I always use the term muggles from Hogwarts. If I'm non-activated looking to be activated, I'm going to go to Brigitte for a medicine session. And then we all start working in these different frequencies and different ranges, and it becomes this beautiful puzzle piece. And I think it's also important to know that when you, as in you guys as viewers, come to a healer and they're not quite ticking the box of what it is you're searching for, ask them to guide you to another person that they know. If they are sitting in a space of where they should be, or hopefully they are, of a released ego, they will gladly give you the person of who is best suited to you at that point in time for whatever it is you're searching for.
I think also what I always try to say, especially with something like coding and light language for my clients, I always say to them, don't have expectations. You're here for a reason. You're brought here for a reason. What I try to explain to them as well is that I'm not healing anything in them. I'm just a channel. They're healing themselves, which is the most important thing. If you go with a certain mindset, we just facilitate the healing that happens within yourself. So I think it's very important for healers to actually empower their clients as well, and not just to be like, oh, yes, I can do this, whatever. No, we are learning from each other. It's a give and take in both ways.
Yeah. I wanted to chat through, so, I actually, let me ask you this. Is there any information that you have on Sirius C specifically?
It's a very, very small and far away star system planet. No, I haven't encountered. I've worked with beings from Sirius B, and they're quite like bluey white, very etheric light. I do want to show you this one that I didn't show earlier that I've started channeling. This is an Arcturian being though, but beings from Sirius do look quite similar. They do have this they're quite slender, tall, skinny bodies, quite big round head, big eyes. But unfortunately, I haven't from Sirius C. I haven't really channeled or had contact with any of them. I think there's very few around.
Yeah. So from what I understand, there's very few humanoids as such on Sirius C, and it's actually a birthing planet. And the reason, guys, I'm bringing up Sirius C is because, as far as I understand, it's my original seeding planet. So that's also quite interesting because it's tiny, it's cloaked, it's basically has an invisible cloak around it, and it's also a seeding planet for dragons.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. And what was interesting finding out about Sirius C, and because again, doubt is not a game that is to your advantage in this game, right? So it's like, before I found out about Sirius C, I'd had also this sort of prophetic dream. I'm also very active in dream space, about a black lion. It was pitch black, and it wasn't a panther. Wow. It was a lion. And actually it looked like the Sphinx as well. So I know the Sphinx is also, connected to Sirius star system. But when we entered into, this is a session that I did with a beautiful mutual friend of ours, Kathy. We moved in, and all the cats there were black. They were black lions. So that was really interesting. Yeah, really, really interesting. Okay, so I've asked about Sirius C. I went off par there for a second.
So for me, because I have a lot of Pleiadian DNA, the other big chunk of DNA that I have is because I'm a rainbow warrior. I just wanted to explain that a little bit as well. It's literally a planet that I also went on in my activation with the same starseed healer that we were speaking about before, Kathy, and it was actually a planet with these beings who were these big suns. Their heads were suns, and they had rainbow auric field all around them, and it it made so much sense to me when I found out, because I love color. Since I've been a child, it doesn't matter what it, as long as it's colorful and bright.
Yeah.
So I know it sounds like something that a lot of people, but for me, when I found out that a lot of my DNA was actual rainbow DNA, and then I have been told as well from other people who have vision. I see it myself, but it's not the same when you see it. That I actually, when I do the work, I actually emanate little rainbow frequencies, little rainbows come out of me. And I thought that everyone had that, but apparently it's something that is it's encoded in me. Yes.
Yeah, and I feel like I can really relate to that as well at this point in time, because remember, everything drops at different times. Like, I am being so called to turquoise and indigo right now, but I always have been, always, and greens. It's usually been greens, but at this time, it's turquoise, indigo, and it's this indigo, 60 energy from Sirius that I'm magnetized to at this point in time, and it makes sense as well. Oh yes, that leads me to, I remember what my question was. So I know that, if we're on YouTube and a lot of light workers are out there looking for people who are channeling, etc., there's often channels that are coming through from Pleiadians, and actually you see a little bit more like Arcturian channels coming through, but there's never really many Sirian channels. Do you know why that is, or do you have an inkling? And as far as I know, it's like this 60 activation, and I know you work higher, but let's just move in baby steps, is sort of an energy only coming through over the next, like, now to a year and a half time.
Yeah, I also feel like the way the Syrian beings work is a lot more telepathically, because I think of their technology and stuff. I don't think that what they can send through to us now in coding would be received in such a way that would benefit us compared to what we receive from other. This is just my opinion and how I feel about it. But I feel like they would work more telepathically. They probably come in dream space and work on you. They work on your energetic body. They send and you receive if you're open, but it doesn't necessarily need to be channeled.
Yes. That makes sense, because I'm actually part of this. I haven't really entered into it yet, but on Thursday nights, there's this guy who does the Syrian channeling thing, but all we have to do is lie down at a certain point in time, and there's no recorded actual, light language or voice channel. We just have to listen to a certain set of music, or link up and in, and so that actually makes sense. Yes, and I've read that about that. Perfect, awesome. What else did we want to chat about through the session? Apparently you've been creating a course, am I right?
Yes, I've started. I actually started getting these direct messages from Pleiades. There's a lot of Pleiadian energy coming through right now, because the Pleiadian portal, the main big one, opens actually once a year, and this year is from the 16th to the 26th of May. It's these 10 days that it's fully opened. It's connected and opened throughout the year, but now is specifically when it's more open. So I'm actually designing a course that's called a Starseed Pleiadian Activation course. It will have its specific light language encoded in it. It will have symbols. It will have videos of me talking and channeling. You don't have to be a Pleiadian starseed to benefit from this course. So I just want to explain that. The reason I called it Pleiadian, it's because there's a lot of Pleiadian energy encoded into it. And what this course will help you do, it will help you connect to the Pleiades regardless of where you're from. And it will help you connect more to yourself, to your artistic self, to your natural self, to your creative self, because that is really Pleiadian energy. It's all about love and art and believing in yourself. So that is really a little bit what the course is going to be about. I do touch a bit on galactic history, a little bit on. I speak a little bit of other beings and how they relate to the Pleiadians. I do talk on how the Pleiadians also came, and what the first times they were in contact with humanity and how they came to Earth. So there's a lot of downloaded information in it. So yeah, I'm very excited to release it and to see what you guys think about it.
Awesome. And just so you know, guys, we will have all the links. I mean, I'm sure you'll see down below, we'll have all the links. You can check out Altea's stuff. We are also going to be creating, and it'll probably be in the link below, we're just pre-recording this video, creating a sort of mutual co-creation offer. And that'll just be something really simple, 30 minutes with myself, 30 minutes with Altea. We'll each deal with you guys individually. Altea will probably bring a personal coding through for you, something small, beautiful, unique to your signature, your DNA, that you can keep with you as the signature frequency and coding from Altea. And we'll put that in the link as well with regards to this offer. I did that for the month of April, I think. No, May, April, May, in May. With the Akashic ladies. So we'll be doing something similar. And that's really why I'm doing this, is to just connect the dots of people out there, light workers, especially in South Africa, I guess, because, we're gridding and anchoring. So please support us, and more importantly, just follow your flow. Follow your flow. What else, Altea?
I think that covers about it. Hey, I just want to thank everyone for watching and for the support. And we are all in this together. We are all one. Stay in your heart center, and really just speak your truth. Also, that's another important one. Stay in your heart center and speak your truth.
Yeah. And I guess maybe just a message to light workers at this point in time from your perspective about, obviously, I mean, we haven't even mentioned it, which is awesome. But let's speak about the elephant in the room of Corona at this point in time. It wasn't our focus, but just a message, so an intuitive message from yourself, your higher self, to light workers who are stressed at this point in time. If you just want to share something short.
Yeah, I understand that some people are stressed, and but I do believe that there is a divine plan and order. I do believe that everything that is happening right now is for the greatest and highest good of the planet and of everyone. So really, really trust yourself. Don't go looking for it. I'm not saying, don't be stupid, still ground and be in this reality, because we are living in the 3D, but don't give into the fear. Don't give into the fear of the media. Do your own research and really reach your own conclusions, but still stay rational. So don't say, oh no, it's all not true, but also don't give into panic, because that really doesn't serve any good to anyone.
So I think it's a happy medium. And again, it's something that I'm glad I mentioned this in the ending, is protect your energy fields.
Yeah.
And we didn't speak about protection within the channel space. So maybe you want to just touch on that a little bit.
Yeah, I can just say something. I think it's important to shield yourself. We also don't want to create too much of a polarity. So you don't want to overemphasize the shielding, because then by then you attract, what you don't want to attract. So shield yourself with, the necessary amount. I do believe that when you are already channeling light language, your frequency is already at a certain point. So I've never had any negative entity try channels through me. I have had psychic attacks in my dream space and also in the 3D, because this is something I think we have to do a whole other video on that. But it is something that, as light workers, even as normal people, you just don't connect with psychic attacks. But as light workers, I think the more you put your work out there, the more you help, the more the negativities can come through. So that's why it's important to be grounded and to be shielded. I find I shield and cleanse my space maybe once a week.
Yeah,
I think if I have clients coming in my space, I will cleanse before and after. Yeah. But if I'm working from home, if I'm working through my computer, through my screen, if I'm working online through my clients, then I'll shield once a week. It'll be fine.
Yeah, awesome. Guys, and just again, being centered, balanced. The emotions are going to come, All right. The emotions are going to come. It is a stressful time, especially the empaths out there. And again, if our channels are open, just tune in, do your daily practice. I mean, we should, if we haven't gotten to that point, I think now's the time where it's going. This is of utmost importance. Your daily practice is important. Ground yourselves, okay? Whatever practice that, I thought I was going crazy yesterday. I went for a sneaky swim and it was wonderful. Just ground yourself, do those salt baths, do what you gotta do, get into your tools. And again, what I wanted to say here was move through the emotions, don't suppress them. It's okay to get angry, it's okay to feel the stuff. Integrate it, allow time for integration, ground, balance, and center again, and begin your work again. Every day is new here, guys. Every day. If anything, this is teaching us to be in present moments. And like Altea said, we can do a whole nother episode on light workers and relationships at this point in time, light workers and psychic attacks. We'll probably will have you on the show, as they say again. Okay, cool, my beautiful. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Lots of love to you guys. And yeah, if you have actually any questions, guys, that you want, you can
write them down.
Yeah, add in the comments, Brigitte or Altea, and this gives us content for other videos. So let us know and share and like and do all of those things. And most importantly, the Pleiadians would love us to say this, but love. Awesome, guys. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.